So Stephanie, I want to ask, have you heard the news about the new casting for Batman vs. Superman movie?
Oh yes, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
And Jeremy Irons. What do you?
Jeremy Irons as who?
Jeremy Irons as Alfred, the butler.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's the thing. This can go one of two ways, right? This can either be incredible because they are very talented actors and the script could be fantastic, but it's more than likely going to go the other way because it's a DC movie and DC movies aren't very well constructed. So you can get great actors and have shitty scripts and then it's a shitty movie. So that's my official opinion. Is that I don't have an opinion really.
No, I completely agree. I
mean, you can't really prejudge these things, can you? I mean, I'm concerned about Ben Affleck playing Batman.
People prejudged Heath Ledger.
Yes, and he was great.
And he was amazing. He literally killed that performance.
Yeah. And it does come down to the director, and it does come down to the script, because if you... Okay, here's a perfect example. I do not like Keira Knightley at all. Nice person, right? Not that good of an actress. But when Joe Wright directs her, he's able to pull out genuine emotion from her. Atonement was her best performance ever. Everything she's been in since has been shit because she's not being directed by Joe Wright. He also gave her really great material. So, what I'm saying is... Who's directing it again?
Yes.
Isn't it Zack Snyder?
Oh, yeah. Zack Snyder's doing it, yeah.
Okay, so I am concerned. But if the script is really good, and if Zack Snyder doesn't,
well, let me ask you this. It's so far, every casting decision that has been made has just been one shark jumping the next, essentially. So, do you think that it's possible that this movie has the premise of being so ridiculously silly that it's actually going to come out on top and be amazing?
It might, but here's my thing with DC, okay? Well, no.
You have many things with DC.
I have many things with DC. But let's go back even further. I'm a tried, tested, true Marvel girl, right? But I started out with Superman and Batman, okay? So I have a soft spot for Superman and Batman, and I love Wonder Woman. Green Lantern, the concept is cool, whatever. Marvel needed to get their act together and start their own production company to really create a good product. I mean, do you remember the Hulk with Eric Bana? That was awful.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Mm-hmm. It's in the same circle of hell that the Star Wars prequels are in, so you may not remember it. But once they got their act together and created their production company, their films have just been really hitting it on the head because they can control their content better. But the thing that Marvel has going for them that DC doesn't is Marvel is so much better at the execution of their superheroes than DC. DC are incredible at creating icons, but they're crap at creating stories. They're almost like the ideas men and women of the comic book industry. But they need somebody else to come in and actually write it for them. Because the issue is always something outside of themselves. Like a color. Cool. Okay. So you can't be around yellow. Well done. Whereas with Marvel, the struggle and the downfall always comes from the inside. And that's a superhero. A superhero is someone who has to struggle within themselves and overcome it. That's what makes them stronger, not somebody holding up a pebble and being like, I had it this whole time, but now that you see it, this is a problem. And I'm sorry, Superman's a little whiny. Love him, but he's a little whiny.
Well, when you can pretty much do anything and nothing is impervious to you, I mean, you kind of get the Harry Potter 5 complex.
Right? That is so well put. Superman has a Harry Potter 5 complex. So, yeah. yes, I want to suspend judgment. Also, I have not seen Man of Steel.
Why?
I'm a little concerned. I also haven't seen Amazing Spider-Man. I'm really, really, really sick of, no, this is the origin story. No, this is the origin story. No, this is the origin story. No, 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 this is the real origin story. I'm sick of it. It's bad enough in comic books. But it just, I don't know. In movies, it's like, oh, for heaven's sakes, just take something that somebody's done already and run with it, you know?
That being said, what's your opinion on Days of Future Past?
I am so excited. I can't even handle myself right now. I am so excited.
Okay, Pushpin, X-Men Apocalypse.
What? That's happening?
Brian Singer tweeted about, I want to say maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that, 6 weeks ago. He just he tweeted, X-Men Apocalypse 2016.
Oh my god. That could be really good. Oh my god.
Right?
Wow.
Right?
Oh my god.
Oh
my god. And I just pulled an illegal move in front of a car. That's how excited I am. Wow. Oh my god. That could be so good. Oh my god.
It almost makes me not care that Fox completely owns everything Marvel.
I know.
Or I'm sorry, everything X-Men.
Everything X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what I would love to see is either X-Men versus Avengers, or
If the studios got along,
if the studios got along, or Civil Wars.
right? Oh, I think Civil War would be so much better.
That'd be
I think
so
Civil War would be amazing.
You know what I really, really, really want is a House of M story arc.
Thank you.
I've just
Thank
wanted
you.
like that one moment,
Well,
and I want that to be at the end of one of the X-Men movies. I want Wanda to come in there, and I want her to get so upset because she lost her children and just whisper that no more mutants, and then that's it. And then the next one is the House of M.
That, can you just imagine how no air would be in the movie theater at all? Nothing. A pin would drop. And then it's like that moment in Polar Express when Santa Claus says, now dash away, all, and then the elves go completely silent.
Yeah.
And you can just exhale, and then cheers! Eruption!
Yeah. Oh my god! Okay, this needs to happen. My Amor movie that I wrote needs to happen. And then that needs to happen. Yeah.
I didn't know that,
I wrote
what is this?
I wrote an Enchantress movie. And I want it to happen so badly.
Like,
It's really good.
like a story complete on its own. No tie-ins to anything.
I mean, tie-ins to Thor.
Kind of, sort of, somewhat.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really a Thor 3 because in my story, Thor's not around. Like, he's too busy being Thor to defend Amora. It's really good. It's the origin story of Amora, and she doesn't start out bad. She's bad through circumstances. It's that whole thing that I always say, you cannot take everything away from somebody and then wonder why they become a terrorist.
It's like what Ilsa could have been in Frozen had love not conquered.
Yes, exactly. That's Amora, because Amora loves Thor so much.
I'm sorry, how much does she love him?
So much. So yes, I want my Amora movie, and I want to play her, and I want a Civil Wars, and I want Wanda to have her moment, and have that be the last moment, where she just whispers, no more mutants. And then darkness, and then the next movie is the House of M.
That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane.
Oh my god.
I have been, for Avengers 2, I just kind of want a tag at the end of the movie where Hugh Jackman and what's his face? Spider-Man kid. What's his name? Him.
Peter Parker?
No, well, of course, but the
the
actor.
guy?
Him.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah.
His name.
So those two just kind of like walk up and just like start chewing the fat with I don't know, someone just be like, hey, so I hear you guys have got like a club thing going.
You know what I want? In Avengers 2, I want Peter Parker to keep sort of like poking his head in, because that was the whole thing. He's always like, hey guys, hey, can I join? Hey
Right?
guys. I just want him to poke his head in every once in a while, and for them to be like, go away, Peter! And then the tag could be him and Wolverine shooting the shit and being like, come on!
So what is the likeliness, in your professional opinion, of well, I guess now the 3 studios getting along? Just for a one-shot movie.
None!
Why?
Because they're all making so much money individually.
Do you think that they could make more money if they combine their characters?
Oh, of course, but there's a lot of ego that would be...
So it's about ego.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's like, no, I've got X-Men, no, I've got Spider-Man, no, I've got Avengers, you know? And here's the thing, like, Disney's so big that all these other groups are like, screw Disney, so they don't want to, you know, they don't want to lose the one thing they have that Disney doesn't, you know? Not that they're going to lose it, but I don't know, I just think there's too much ego going around, which is a shame, because that could be amazing. Like, so good. Oh my god! The House of M is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it pretty much redefined storytelling in comics. It kind of did.
Oh, God,
It gave birth to kind of like the epic, like, summer comic book event. Because it was literally an event.
And it was heart-wrenching. Oh my gosh. And then the Children's Crusade whole story arc that happened after that, where Wiccan and I can't remember his name.
Oh, the Younger Mutants?
Yeah.
Was that New Mutants?
I think it was Children's Crusade.
Mm.
I think it was New Avengers Children's Crusade. I have it on my iPad. Yeah. We can look on my iPad.
Oh, look at me, I've got an iPad.
I've got the Marvel app.
Well, let me put on my Google Glass and let me Google House of M Children's Crusade. Google Glass.
What is
He speaks to me in the same voice of Jarvis.
Yes! I'm amazing!
And that voice is actually Jude Law, so it's really, I just hired Jude Law to talk to me through Google Glass.
Oh god, I would hate to have Jude Law. I do not like that selection. No,
What?
it's Paul Bettany. It's Paul Bettany.
I totally got that wrong.
That's right.
I totally did.
And I love Paul Bettany, but I don't like the way Jarvis sounds.
I love it.
Really?
I do. Because I hated Iron Man before the movies came out. I did. I wanted nothing to do with him. I thought his costume was dumb. I thought I did.
That's controversial.
I did not like the Mark 1, the Mark 2. I just thought they looked silly. It just looked silly.
Yeah.
It did. And then, like, his storylines to me were not that entertaining.
Yeah.
They weren't. It's like, I don't know. Ooh, billionaire playboy with more problems. Ooh, give me something to cry about.
Dude's got shrapnel in his chest. Okay?
Oh no! You're an alcoholic? Who saw that coming?
I have to say though, with Iron Man 3, you know me with my soapbox with PTSD and getting people help and
Sure.
whatever else. I loved the fact that they addressed PTSD.
That was my second favorite thing in the movie.
Yeah. What I didn't like, I am really tired of women being thrown down in the sacrificial position and screaming for help. Maybe it's just me. I think I'm going the wrong direction.
Can I just say I wanted Pepper Potts to die?
Me too!
Like, when she fell into the fire, and I was just like, well, there she goes.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, you knew she wasn't going to die because it wasn't big enough, it wasn't epic enough, but like, I kind of wanted her to go.
Yeah.
It would have given so much reason for Tony Stark to kind of get out of his PTSD slump,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
You know, it would have given him that motivation to be like, all right, I'm not doing this for me anymore. I'm doing this for Pepper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Also, you know I'm a big Janet Van Dyne fan.
What? Breaking news.
I never would have known. Where the frack am I?
I hope we're still in California.
I hope so too. And how am I going? I think I made a big circle. I did.
Can't take you anywhere.
No. Which direction am I going? I don't know what's happening. Mike Brown. So I'm a big Janet fan. Here's my concern with Antman.
Oh, we're talking Antman now. Okay.
Well, we're also talking Tony Stark. Because, you know, she and Tony dated for that little bit.
Well.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It was a thing.
It was yeah.
It was a quick thing.
But it was enough to get Hank Pym, like, all crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, cray-cray.
Which I loved. Because, I'm sorry, Hank could be a dick. So, he needed a kick up the butt. True story.
Truth.
So, alright. So that brings me to Antman. I love that this is all in video. So, here's my concern with Antman. And I know I've said this to you. I think I actually emailed this to you. My concern is they're doing the Scott Lang Antman. Okay. I get that Henry's a dick. I get it. Oh my god, I went the wrong way. What the hell? Man.
Oh, we've just entered the city of Los Angeles. Do we need to stop and figure out where we're going?
I think we're back at the airport.
What? We just made a complete circle?
Which way am I going? Move, blue dot, so I can see where the hell I am. Oh my god. I think I did do a big old circle. Yep, I did. Awesome. This is what's gonna happen. I get that Henry's a dick, right? I get that.
I think that's the 5th time you said that. We've established Hank Pym is a dick.
He is. And I get that he, you know, is not most people's favorite, blah, blah, blah. But where does that leave Janet? Because Janet was his muse, okay? She came into her own right. She came into her own power. You know, she became the head of the Avengers at one point. You know, whatever. Like, she really became a strong
She's
individual.
kind of the kitty pride of, like, the Avengers.
She's the kitty pride of the Avengers. So, if she's still going to be Hank's muse, it's creepy. Because then it's like daddy issues and like an old man perving on a chick, right?
Mm.
But then if you make her Scott Lang's muse, then it just messes up everything. Because she was never Scott Lang's muse. She was never anything to Scott Lang. And
Right.
And so
I have 2 things to say about that.
Okay.
One, this is now the cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and I think in half a breath, I want to say it's unfair to kind of go against canon. The other half of my breath says, you know what? It really is the cinematic universe. It's a completely different universe. So you can write your own stories. You can start over and have Ben Affleck play Batman, for lack of a better term. Or a different universe, if we're universe jumping now. But well, the second thing is that it fits. The way that Edgar Wright is writing the Ant-Man movie, it fits into what has already been established. Because everyone's like, wait, you're doing Age of Ultron and Henry Pym just hasn't been introduced anywhere? So,
which I thought was weird. Because I thought that for sure they were then going to introduce Henry because they're doing Age of Ultron. I mean, where the hell does Ultron come from if Henry's not there?
Exactly.
Are they just going to be like, oh, well, some crazy guy?
So I think that it may be a smart move, considering everything that's already taken place, to have Janet Van Dyne as Scott Lang's muse. it's not what we want. It's not, but at the same time, I never wanted Wolverine X-Men Origins to happen. So
yeah.
And the only reason that it happened was because the story that they wrote, like the only reason the comic book happened was because the writers at Marvel, who were in charge of like X-Men, specifically Wolverine, knew that 20th Century Fox was going to create their own Wolverine origin story if they didn't write it first.
No.
That's the whole reason the origin story was told.
Really?
Because X1 and X2 came out, and they were huge. I'm sorry, X3 came out, and they were all huge. Even though we all hate X3.
It's awful! What did they do to Phoenix?
Don't get me started. The actual cinematography is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only positive thing I can say about that movie.
It's a beautiful movie, but everything else is shit. It's so bad. You're watching the movie and you're like, what the hell are these characters?
You don't care about them.
No, you can't.
Like, did Magneto meet with the Morlocks out in the woods? And if so, why didn't anyone call them the Morlocks? And why were they in the woods and not the sewers? I'm just pointing out the obvious. So who were they? Spike, a major character, was completely glossed over when he threw a piece of wood into Wolverine's arm. His chest. He ripped it out, threw it right back at Spike. Spike died. End of Spike.
Well,
Done.
There's this weird thing that's going on now with the villains, though. It's like the Manchurian in the third Iron Man. Like, what the hell was that?
The Mandarin?
What did I say?
The Manchurian? I was like, this is not a Candidate movie.
God.
Nobody's brainwashed anybody. Well,
how about you play a little game of solitaire? Iron Man, okay.
Flump, flump, flump. Yes, that.
The Mandarin.
And again, going along with my logic, it's the cinematic universe. They can do what they want. They can retell the story.
But he was such an interesting character.
It just made me so angry.
The reins of power and like all of this supernatural stuff.
I loved everything about the Mandarin. I loved it. And then they just took a big steaming shit on all over itself.
I know. Oh, and what's up with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Okay, it's AIM. They're fighting against AIM, and nobody's naming them as such. Or did they?
Fun little quirk. Did they?
Oh, did they name them? They better, because that's who they're fighting. It's so obviously AIM.
I don't know if they did name them. I want to say they did, but I don't know if they actually did.
You know what show I want to see? And you heard it here first. I want to see Marvel's Agents of S.W.O.R.D. because I love Abigail Brand.
She's, she kind of takes Maria Hill and, like, chews her up and spits her out.
Yeah, she's badass. Well, Joss Whedon created her.
I will say that would be interesting, but from my perspective, it's hard once you leave planet Earth and you get into, like, intergalactic stuff.
They've got Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which I'm looking forward to. I'm not saying I'm not looking forward to it.
It'd be so good.
But there's something about, like, and I'm all for sci-fi, but I don't know. For me, it's a hard pill to swallow to combine sci-fi and comic book superheroes. I don't know, and I mean, for heaven's sakes, it's been ingrained into comic books for the past 60 years. But once
actually,
they leave,
more than that, because Buck Rogers in the 25th Century was from the 1920s.
But he was his own universe, so I'm not counting that.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But I will accept Duck Dodgers. Daffy Duck.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I've never
Anyway.
seen that, actually. True story.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
True story.
Where was I going with it? I can't remember. But yes, Marvel's Agents of S.W.O.R.D. would be.
That'd be great.
That would be interesting.
I love Abigail.
If for nothing else, just to see someone with green hair.
I know, right?
And where's Polaris? Can we not have Polaris?
I love Polaris. Did you read the War of Kings story arc?
No.
It's another one of my favorites. It is so good. She's in it. They fight against Vulcan, who's taken over the Shi'ar Empire.
Then no.
It's so good.
Is Xavier in it?
No.
This is after he died?
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers!
Xavier's dead.
Was it after he died? It would have to be. Yes.
Speaking of Xavier's death, that was one of my favorite things about AVX.
Really?
Was how, not necessarily that he died,
Okay.
but I loved how everyone reacted to it.
Yeah. I hated it, but that's because I love him.
I loved that they took a hero and turned him into the villain.
Yeah. But they're good at doing that.
It was beautiful. That was such a beautiful moment for me. And then they redeemed him later on.
But that's the thing about Marvel villains, is they are redeemable.
Except for Emma Frost. In my heart of hearts, she will always be evil. I am sorry. I hate Emma Frost. I hate everything about it. I hate her costume. I hate the way she's drawn. I don't like her at all.
Yeah, she's nasty.
She's a stripper who can read into your mind. That's who Emma Frost is.
It's true. And January Jones was perfect
Oh,
casting
don't. No, well,
because she nasty.
That's true. I'll give you that. January Jones, maybe for the look, but just like April O'Neil's, that makes me so angry. TMNT. Megan Fox. Megan Fox and January Jones cannot act to save their life.
No, but those characters are, well, no, April O'Neil is not vapid, but Emma Frost is vapid. She is devoid of intelligence, in my opinion.
Really?
I think so.
Because she seems really like she knows what she was head of the X-Men. I'm sorry, you have to know what you're doing if you're going to be head of the X-Men.
Do you?
Scott Summers, Kitty Pryde, Wolverine, Charles Xavier, Rogue.
Yeah, but those were all really capable characters. Which is going along with your point.
Even Mystique at one point in time.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. Marvel's really good at making their villains redeemable. And then they turn out to be evil again. Even Loki is a redeemable character.
Question.
Answer.
Who decided it was a good idea to have Loki come back as a woman?
I love that story arc. I
just thought that was weird.
No, I loved that. And I loved when then the next time he came back as himself as a child.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Oh,
I did not know.
Yeah, no, I love when Loki's a chick. Because there were some serious, like, misogynistic rage against female issues going on then because Loki was so manipulative as a woman. But I thought it was a natural progression for the character because I will always maintain that he was madly in love with Amora. That out of all the people that ever existed in Loki's world, Amora was the one person he loved. It's kind of like Daredevil for Black Widow. I will always maintain that he's the only person that Black Widow loved. So I felt that when Loki became a female, he was emulating Amora. He was taking Amora to, like, even greater heights.
Okay.
No,
sure.
I loved
Sure.
Loki as a chick. I thought that was hysterical.
I can't.
Crickets.
I'm sure.
Speaking of the Thor universe, can I say how much I love when Asgard is ripped out of its space and it's on Earth?
Asunder.
I love that whole thing. It's so interesting. Oh my god, I love when Asgard is at war with itself. And Odin's gone batshit. I love it. And I love the whole thing when Balder finds out that he's Odin's son. And so they create like this tension and this fight between...
Wait, whoa.
I'm sorry.
No, I did not know that.
Alert!
Did not know that.
Spoiler alert.
Weird.
Sorry.
Why?
It's interesting.
That's kind of a small spoiler for me, though. Because
Okay.
I'm not into Thor as much as you are, though.
Okay. Yeah, he finds out that he's Odin's son, and then it creates this huge tension between Thor and Balder.
Now, had you told me that Scott Summers and Logan, no name, were... Because he doesn't have a last name. Logan, shall I call you Mr. Wolverine?
Mr. Wolverine.
Mr. Reen. Hurrah! Horeen. That was so racist. You're welcome.
That was good. And it's all on video.
Yeah, I know.
Is this still recording?
It's
Do you still
yeah,
do
we're
that?
at 30 minutes right
Really?
now.
Oh my god!
We have been driving around lost for 30 minutes talking about comic books, and I love it.
Welcome to my life. I get lost often, and I talk about comic books often. The two were bound to meet.
But I feel so bad. There's a part of me that genuinely feels terrible because you are leaving for Scotland tomorrow, early in the morning, I presume.
No.
Okay, you're still leaving for Scotland tomorrow, and tonight is the last night that you have to spend with your boyfriend. Friend that is a boy. And you're spending it with me in the car, which actually we're on the way to go see him now. Are we close?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We're very close. I texted him to let him... When we were at a standstill, and it was red light, I texted him to let him know that
You probably
we
saw
were
that.
lost.
Can we force him to watch this?
Yes.
This is what we talked about. We're just gonna eat dinner, and you just watch this video. This is what went down.
I'll be like, oh, it's like every single night. Living with Stephanie Tate.
I would love to have this continue, but my arm is getting sore,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna put it down.
Probably a good idea.
Thanks for talking comic books.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking comic books.
Comic books will always ask.
Ah.
Drive safe.
I will.